ক্লাস 12 এর আজকে একটা প্রোজ পড়াবো। তোমার থার্ড যে প্রোজটা আছে, থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাম, বাই ল্যাংস্টন হিউজ। Regarding Langston Hughes, it can be said that Langston Hughes is a very prominent figure of Afro-American literature, and he always in the lookout for the upliftment of his own people. That means the black people. He belonged to the black race in America. Uh, though of African origin, you know that he had a great dissatisfaction about the condition of the black people in America, and he believed that the condition of the black people should be uplifted. And for keeping in mind that kind of idea, he started writing. Wrote poetry, essay, and also he was also a columnist. All these things he wrote, and short story also, obviously. And he is one of the very prominent figure in the literary movement that organized in the Harlem, that is called Harlem Renaissance. Harlem is a place in New York in America. There a literary movement was organized, and he was one of the leading personnel. At the same time, there was another kind of poetry, judge poetry. Judge poetry is you know that judge is a musical instrument, and with the help of this instrument, the black people, they used to sing. And Hugh also wrote poetry. The poetry was sung with the instrument judge. And in such poetry, actually the condition of the black people was written there. So it can be said that Hughes is a very prominent figure who really led movement for the right of the black people. And regarding his style, you can see that you will be able to see if you read this short story, you will find that native tongue or native dialect has been used. Native dialect means that the urban black urban people, the urban black people who used to live in the urban area, uh, their voices are printed in the text also, how they used to speak. Then so native language has been used by Langston Hughes in this short story. Listen. Thank you, ma'am. Uh, she was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but hammer and nails. So a woman was the first mention is of a woman. So she was the name of the woman has not been given in the very first. Actually, she was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but hammer and nails. So she had a bag, and this bag contained everything apart from hammer and nails. So contained everything means that the bag was so heavy that it appeared that perhaps it is containing everything. But the hammer and nails, perhaps it is very significant why the hammer and nails are excluded. Perhaps the hammer and nails are used for the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. That's why that two items are left out. It had a long strap. She had carried it slung across her shoulder. It was about 11 o'clock. Mark this one. It was about 11 o'clock at night. So it had a long, the bag that she was carrying, it had a long strap, and she was carrying it slung across. It is just hanging from the shoulder, slung across her shoulder. It was about 11 o'clock at night. The time was 11 o'clock at night. She was walking alone, and she was alone, when a boy ran up behind her and tried to snatch her purse. Suddenly a boy came from behind, and the boy tried to snatch the purse. The strap broke. With a single tug, the boy gave it from behind. The strap, with the help of which it was hanging on the shoulder, the strap broke. It was torn apart. And with a single tug, the boy pulled it from back. That's why it was torn apart. But the boy's weight and the weight of the purse combined caused him to lose his balance. So instead of taking off full blast as he had hoped, the boy fell on his back on the sidewalk. So the boy expected that he will just snatch the purse and he will run away. But the bag was quite heavy, and due to that, and also because of the weight of the boy the boy fell on the sidewalk. So he expected that instead of taking a full blast means that as if a wind just vanishes within a fraction of a second. So he expected that he would just run away, he would just vanish taking the bag. But the very opposite happened. He fell on his back and on the sidewalk means the footpath, and his legs flew off. So he was just fell down on the footpath. The large woman simply turned round. So the woman was quite daring one. That's why she turned round and kicked him right square in his blue jean seaters and started kicking him on his on his blue jean seater. Then she reached down. Then she stooped down and picked the boy up by his shirt front. Then hold the boy by his shirt front and shook him until his teeth rattled. Then shook him like this. She was shaking the boy until his teeth rattled, until or unless the teeth came out, and there is friction of the teeth. After that, the woman said, "Pick up my pocketbook." The woman ordered the boy to pick up her pocketbook. "Give it here," and asked to give the pocketbook to her. She still held him, but she bent down enough to permit him to stoop and pick up her purse. So she was just drooping him sufficiently so that he can pick up the purse. Then she said, "Now, aren't you ashamed of yourself?" So this is the native expression, "aren't you?" So are not you ashamed of yourself? So that's why native dialect has been used. Are not you ashamed of yourself? So don't feel shame for what you have done. Firmly gripped by his shirt front, the boy said. The boy was held by the lady still then, and the boy said, "Yes, ma'am." Yes, ma'am means that yes, I am, or yes, ma'am, like this. The woman said, "What did you want to do it for? What is the reason that you are trying to snatch my pocketbook or snatch my purse?" The boy said, "I did not aim to." The boy said that I did not intend to snatch your purse. She said, "You will lie." Again, the native expression, the quite colloquial expression. You will lie. You will lie means that you are lying. By the time 2 or 3 people passed, stopped and turned to look. By this time, people gathered, a few people, because it was quite late at night. 2 or 3 people passed and stopped, turned to look, and some stood watching. Some turned to look, some saw and went away. Some stayed there watching. "If I turn you loose, will you run?" So the lady asked the boy if he would run away if she turned him loose. "Yes, ma'am. Yes, I will run away," said the boy. "Then I won't turn you loose. Then I shall not release you," said the woman. She didn't release him. "I'm very sorry, lady. I'm sorry," whispered the boy. The boy was quite terrified. He was frightened. That's why he was saying to the lady that he was quite sorry for what he had done. "And your face is dirty. I got a great mind to wash your face for you." So your face is dirty. This is the dirt can be visible in the as the dirt is in the external part. So externally there are dirt. So there is mud on the face of the boy. So the dirt can be seen to the lady. So this is the external dirt. But his internal dirt. The vision that the lady had, by that vision she was able to see. She was able to peep through the mind of the boy that there is some trace of dirt in the mind of the boy. So that dirt has to be cleared. That corruption has to be cleared first. Otherwise, the boy will be derailed from the moral path. So the dirt means not only the external dirt, but also the internal dirt. So I have to clean your face is dirty. So I got a great mind to wash your face for you. So your internal dirt, the corruption, that the sin that has been lying latent in the offense that has been lying latent in your heart, that dirt has to be cleared. "And you got anybody home to tell you to wash your face?" Again, native expression. Do not have anybody at home. Do not you have anybody at home to tell you that your face is to wash your face? There is dirt in your face. So don't you have anybody at home to tell that? "No, ma'am," said the voice. Boy said that there is nobody at home. "Then it will get washed this evening. Then I shall wash your face this evening, or your face will be washed this evening," said the large woman, starting up the street. The woman was taking the boy along with her, dragging the frightened boy, and the boy was being dragged behind. She was pulling the boy. He looked as if he were 14 or 15. Mark this one. The boy was quite at the early teenage, 14 or 15. Frail and willow wild. So it is the physical description of the boy. He looked as if he were 14 or 15. Frail means quite weak. Willow wild. Willow, you know that willow tree is quite solid one. Cricket bat is made from the willow tree. Willow wild. So he looks quite disabled. In tennis shoes and blue jeans. He was putting on blue jeans and he had tennis shoes. The woman said, "You ought to be my son." So the tone is changed here. "You ought to be my son. You look like my son. I'll teach you right from wrong. So what I will teach you right from wrong. Least I can do right now is to wash your face. At this moment, what I can do best is to wash your face. Are you hungry? Have you taken any food?